All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome day. It's Tuesday, so yesterday I was pretty busy. Didn't have time to start disassembling the Hellcat. But if you know, I did break the bumper retainers here on the side that connect the bumper around the fender. So they're in here. You'll see them in just a sec once I get the bumper off. But because of the trailer I was using and how low my car is in the front, I did break those on both sides. Awesome, I know. Luckily, they're only about 20 bucks from the dealership, so for the actual Mopar ones. I did order some online Sunday because I wanted them to get here as soon as possible, but they were cheaper and they were just an off-brand, whatever, still OEM spec, but they weren't gonna get here till Monday, so I decided to call the dealership yesterday to see if they actually had them, and they had two of the parts I needed actually in stock, and the other two parts were in Dallas, so they were here this morning, Tuesday morning. So pretty quick turnaround, which is awesome. So let me show you. So these are the bumper retainers. They go around the fender, and then the bumper snaps around these. So these are what I broke, and I decided to replace, I'm not sure what they're called. I think they're like a fascia piece inside the bumper, but they've got these little plastic, almost like rods here that go through the fender, and actually one of them was already snapped on my bumper, so I figured I might as well order those just in case. And when I get the bumper off here in just a second, I'll be able to tell if I need anything else, but I'm pretty sure that's all I need, minus a few clips here and there. No big deal. So we're gonna get the bumper off again. I've already taken off, I don't even know how many times this year, but not a big deal, whatever. It comes off pretty easily. So I'm gonna get the bumper off, and then we'll kind of assess the damage, and then we'll get the new parts on. All right, guys, so the biggest problem here is that it looks like it ripped the metal on the fender, it pulled so hard. So I'm gonna bend this part back, kind of flatten that out, and then I guess either put a larger washer or drill a new hole, but then I'd have to move the bolt. So I think what I'll do is just flatten this out, cut this little piece off, and just put a larger washer on there and get it real tight. And I think it'll hold just fine, but yeah, that's part of the damage there. That kind of sucks, but it is what it is. All right, so there's the piece. You can see half of it's on the fender and the other half is still on the bumper. So I'm gonna replace that. This side looks like it's good. Just need to flatten this out a little bit. Flatten this one out too. That one got a little bent. And then you can see this little plastic rod was broken here. So I'm gonna replace this side of the fascia, and then we should be good to go. All right, so this little fascia piece is actually riveted in, so we'll have to drill those out and then put some new rivets in. So I'm gonna do that real quick. That was pretty easy. I just took a drill bit to the top of the rivets. If you ever have to do this, just be very careful because your bumper is right behind it. So if you drill too far through, you might poke through. So I just drilled the tops of the rivets out. I didn't actually go all the way through, and that enabled it to actually pop out. So now what we'll do is we'll put the new one on, and we'll rivet the new one. It is back on, everything is good to go. And actually, if you're wondering, these little ZL1 add-ons kind of saved the lip. It kind of hit a little chunk there, but for the most part they worked. You can see they hit definitely before anything else does. So if you're looking for those to protect your lip, I definitely recommend them. But the bumper is back on. It's lined up pretty good. The wrap didn't get too messed up. I'll show you from the bumper coming off and on so many times this year. You can see the wrap is kind of like folded up underneath. It's kind of like wrinkled back a little. That's just like the bumper pulling on it. But you know, it is a car that does get driven, well, you know, once a month or so. But you know, it's not perfect, but it looks pretty good. So the bumper is back on, it's good to go. And now we can drive the car again. So if you are wondering what the code is, I don't know either. It's a trans limp code, but usually when that happens, it's your car putting it's the transmission, the computer, putting the car in limp mode to protect it from something because it senses something's going wrong. However, typically that locks you in a gear or leaves you stranded, really. So the thing is, once I cleared the codes, the cars ran fine, and I did drive it around Saturday. Nothing happened so far, so that's why I wanted to get the bumper on as soon as possible so I could drive the car around and see if I can mimic what it did before. That way we can figure out what the problem is. But my guess is that if it is something, it's definitely something electrical. So it could be from when the fire happened. We did replace the whole entire engine harness, but there could be a short somewhere in the TCM from when all that happened. Now, I would have figured that would have already come through because I have been driving the car for a little bit here. It's not like I just got the car back. I've had the transmission fixed for a while, so I figured that problem would have popped up already, but stuff like that does happen, especially electrical gremlins. That's what they do, is they come and they go, and so that's what my thinking is maybe there's a short somewhere. So you know, we've got the ice tank in the back, and I'm going to show you here in just a second, but I've got the ice tank in the back, and it does create condensation when it's really cold. So you do have to be careful about not getting condensation because there is wires back there. So let me show you here in just a second. So now this does look kind of ghetto, but I did double wrap it in some insulation, some reflective insulation, and then I'm going to do the whole entire trunk in it. But as you know, the battery is in the back for these Hellcats. And I've got a lot of stuff going on. I got 2 fuel pump controllers. I've got a booster pump back there. I've got the relay and the circuit for the ice tank. So there's a lot going on back here, and you definitely don't want condensation near any of that stuff. So I did clean up, I know it doesn't look that great, but I did clean up some of the wiring back here that we had done before. I cleaned that up a little bit, and like I said, I'm gonna run this insulation stuff all throughout the trunk and then get the carpet back in there. Just to protect all the wires that are back there. So far, there's no leaks with the ice tank, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it just because you never know with that stuff. So yeah, definitely want to keep an eye on that. So we're looking out for the code to see if it comes back. But other than that, the car is running good. So we just need to keep an eye on that because I really want to run it this Friday at the track just to see what it'll do. After this week, there is actually a major change coming to the Hellcat, and I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. Some people, because people have already commented saying I've ruined this car with all the stuff I've done to it, and I should have kept it stock, or I should have kept the purple paint. I mean, I still got the purple paint, it's just under the wrap. Come on, people. But some people have said I've ruined the car. It's a nice car, it's an expensive car, whatever. You can get Hellcats pretty cheap now, so they're not really that expensive. But the car will be losing some weight, and it's a pretty big change. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away, but some of the creature comforts of the Hellcat are going away. Now, I'll go into more depth on this, but I don't drive the car that much. I drive it to work maybe once in a great while, and I really just drive it to the track, or I drive it to car shows or the races. So, gonna lose some creature comforts, which I don't really care about. No, it's not the air conditioning. I'm gonna keep the air conditioning. You need air conditioning, but maybe some of the other creature comforts. So I'll show you guys here shortly. There'll probably be a few videos between now and then because I gotta wait for all the stuff to come in. It's gonna be a project. It's not gonna be just a bolt-on simple installation. It's gonna be a project, but that's gonna do it for today's video. So I'm really happy we got the bumper back on. Car's put back together pretty quickly. Shout out to Texas Dodge for getting me the OEM parts and really quickly. So that's it for today's video. Make sure you guys always comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Snapchat at VanV39, and we'll see you guys on the next one.